have no idea.
I think it's way down below. It's pretty good, actually. It's
It is.
I think it's all okay, actually. I mean, yeah,
Can we? What was it? I just think that's what they Log box. Log cabin box. Is that what that is? Yeah. You know that building across the street's pretty cool. The church.
No,
I like it too. I think they built a whole bunch of things like that in the 60s. 50s, right? 50s? I think they had a lot of buildings like that in the 60s. Was that, when they built it?
This is more like...
That's a lot. Yeah.
50s are more like that.
Not it, like that whole...
Like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying any of those or domestic care. No. No, I know, but that's
Okay.
what he's trying
Okay.
to...
So there's a lot of information.
Yeah,
It started on
so I
August 15th.
Okay.
But on August 21st, Bruce Moore has filed an EPO. The EPO itself is perjury.
There's
Right?
one thing with this form.
No, that's perjury. In order to get the EPO, he had to lie.
Okay, do you have a copy of the EPO? Will you search it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the system. It's also in all the evidence that I gave it. I can get more of... I can get the evidence. I gave her a flash drive with a whole bunch of
follow
stuff.
up with her and talk to her.
I have a flash drive with all the video evidence and everything from August 15th.
And he just wants to share.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if it's going to be domestic terrorism or perjury, that's not going to be through us. That's going to be through the FBI. That is
Okay.
a federal offense.
Okay, but perjury, though, the perjury...
So that's going to be up to the DA to file that.
Okay, but they said I had to file it to a police department.
Okay, but you said you already gave it to Detective Mooney, correct?
Yeah, but she didn't know that's what he was wanting. There was a lot of stuff
No,
there.
I
That's
gave
what I'm
her.
asking.
Yeah,
I
I
need you
gave
guys
her
to
all
tell
the
me what you
I
guys
gave
need.
her all the evidence for the case.
Okay, so you need to tell me what all you need.
Okay, the one guy pulled down his pants, and I gave her
Okay.
evidence
I
for that,
saw
but it
that
also had
report.
all the other evidence as well in it.
There's a follow-up of that whole household since...
Yeah, the whole household
Okay,
has been
I
doing
understand
domestic
that, but I'm
terrorism.
saying
So
we need
you want me to call
proof.
the FBI?
No, hold on. Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Hold on. You want
Okay, so I'm saying we need to file a report.
Okay.
Is that what we need to do? Because the only report that I have is from the
Yes.
Okay,
that you were telling
Yes,
me.
I want to begin charges, however we begin charges for domestic terrorism.
Okay, we don't do domestic terrorism
Okay.
here. That's going to be through the FBI.
Okay,
But I'm
so
asking
call the
you, what
FBI.
is domestic terrorism? What is he doing that is domestic terrorism?
Okay. Whenever you get looked at threateningly all the time, like in a demeaning way where you're demoralized, that's terrorism, right? The use of fear to do you know what terrorism means?
Yes,
Coercion by fear, right? So whenever he goes to get an EPO with perjury, lies, to coerce me by fear, being a domestic neighbor, domestic terrorism, those two words together. Like social pathology.
Okay.
Like social and pathology. You understand?
the perjury.
Word.
So with the perjury, when he did go to file the EPO, whatever.
What did he lie on the EPO?
Everything. Everything about the EPO was a direct lie. Everything.
Okay, but
Every
I'm
single
asking,
bit of
I
it.
don't have it in front of me. You have to tell me what was on there.
Well,
Did you put it out?
page 1, it said bright white chest, and then page 2 was... Have you ever studied lies? Do you...
Okay, but I need you to tell me what's happening.
Okay. my neighbor
Yes.
started to terrorize me.
Okay, how is he terrorizing you? I need details.
By looking, okay, well, he got his neighbor out to shoot arrows at the fence line every time I go outside. He calls the cops and lies to the cops so the cops can come by. So he's using the government to terrorize me.
He does
Right,
stare,
with government
he
entities,
does
right?
do things.
So if I call
Okay,
the
I
cops,
need you to calm down.
it's frustrating.
I understand, but I need you to calm down.
I'm a human.
I
I have
understand, and I'm
feelings.
trying to help
I
you.
have feelings.
If you want to just
I don't care about my feelings. I don't care about me.
Hold your shit together.
Why do they care about me?
They do care. It's fine. It's just, look, they don't not care.
It's logic.
I understand. I'm trying to help you. I just need some details on what's going on.
I've given you plenty of videographic evidence.
There's, okay.
But you haven't given it to me,
Okay,
and the detective
okay.
you gave it to is not
Okay, logic starts at origin. On August 15th, I was assaulted by one of my neighbors and my other neighbor. And then ever since that day on August 15th, they have been doing small, terrorizing tactics.
bullying.
They are bullying me.
So I can
So they
file a
come
complaint.
outside
Okay.
and they shoot arrows
And
one
then
day.
when they went to go
and then
get-
one day, I plan
went
my
to-
whole day so they cannot visually see me. And when they cannot visually see me and I remove the gutters on my house, they still call the cops. The cops come over, and the cops are fishing. Do you know what fishing means? P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G, fishing for
There's so
stories.
much detail.
They are fishing for crime now. I'm like, this is a cop. You're fishing for a story? Logically. How can you be so irrational
rude.
about this? It's very rude.
But anyway,
And I'm like, you can't
it's just
come over
it's
here
just
looking for
little thing
stories
after little
whenever I
thing,
plan
and
my
then
whole day so
has
he doesn't
all
see me.
this
He still
that
calls the
he's,
cops
like,
anyway.
Been kind of
How can he shoot
frustrated about.
arrows at my fence line
It's kind of been built up.
and him not be a terrorist?
understand.
How can he come outside, moon me, and then come outside with his... Do you know what Texas sharpshooting is?
I do not.
That's a logical fallacy called data picking, cherry picking. Why do people not know logical
okay,
fallacies?
So and he has the evidence that the
Logically
videographic,
corrupted
and he's
people.
written paper on it. It's kind of been an obsession.
What's his address?
Is it 1717 South Pine?
Yeah.
I can't think. I can't do my work.
And then, okay, so the thing was, he went to court. He got a protective order against us for him, which he wasn't even doing anything,
Which is perjury.
anyway. But when they did go to court, he did lie. And
Oh my God, it was
so
brutal.
we have the video evidence saying what didn't like the judge believed it all, and he's so frustrated that he just
I
feels
can't
like he's
think
been
or work.
railroaded.
Every single bit of it.
We'll
But like,
write
if
it
you
out.
look at the PO,
I don't even know.
if you can't see the systematic lie, like, it's funny.
Do you
It's
have
like
the
he
video
starts off.
evidence of it?
Well, it's very. I marked everything. I have so much of
it's
it.
been written out.
So
I don't know if she
at the
has it.
beginning
If
of the
she doesn't,
EPO,
we
he's
have it.
like, all this stuff happened, but I was not a witness to this. And then he's like, all this stuff happened, but this is the truth. So he like keeps inserting a truth.
can
Like, here's a
see-
fabrication, here's a truth.
If
Here's
you
a
look at
fabrication,
it,
here's a truth.
you can see
the whole
that-
EPO is in that order. Fabrication, truth. Fabrication, truth.
Yeah.
We have a case here.
It's moving, which is not.
So you can.
All right, just hang tight for me, guys.
Okay. I just want to do my work.
I understand.
And no, I can't
Are
think.
you his wife or?
Significant other.
I can't think with all this pressure. I have all this pressure,
Well, the
and I
biggest
can't,
thing.
and I can't think properly. And I have medical concerns about my neck, so I have like blood rushing to my left hemisphere, which I have to get that checked out.
It just
So
caused a lot of
medically,
stress.
I have stress issues.
And he just feels like no one's listening.
And no
he
one's
feels
listening,
he's
and I'm
being
like,
railroaded
I have
as the bad
science.
guy.
I'll bring you science.
he's-
I have science.
It just
Okay, so let me give you some suggestions. When the detective sergeant comes out, he's the sergeant over the detectives. Try not to get frustrated when you talk to him. Try to stay calm.
I'm a very logical person.
Right.
I see the world in equations.
Right.
I'm just, God made me that way.
Yeah. Just when they come out, just try to kind of stay calm and don't overspeak him or whatever, and maybe he can kind of walk you through it. He's been with us for over 20 years, so.
About what we do, about how he felt like he lied in court, and he
Right.
just feels like he needs some sort of outcome, like some guidance for
Right.
what to do for justice.
The funniest thing is that I study analytical psychology, and every single bit of this is part of analytical psychology. It's tracked. It's tracking. And you can track it. It's maddening. No one else can see the
Right.
pattern.
And here we're going to talk like on. You probably have like a smarter IQ than all of us.
No, I don't. Actually, I
But-
don't. I really don't. I have a good social IQ. I have a good social IQ.
It's
Shut
just
up.
the way he perceives information is different.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it. It's just that's it.
Analytically.
No, actually, my very first function is irrational. My first function is an irrational function. It never really makes sense. So I'm constantly going at things irrationally, but with the tools of rationality. I guess is the easiest way to explain
Yeah,
it.
so whenever he comes out, just try to stay calm. Calm and kind of to the point, what your purpose is, what you want done,
Yeah.
and take it from there.
Okay.
If you start throwing 5 or 6 different things to him, he's not going to follow.
Right. And right now I'm super
Right.
stressed. So
You're stressed out, so you're just kind of,
well, because I understand all the concepts that are piling on me,
right,
and I just want to work.
right. Yeah, so just, if you've got video proof or whatever,
Oh,
I'll let him know.
that-
So the protective order was filed against you
We've
today.
6 months ago.
I have a lot of backup data copies too. No, I gave Detective Mooney a USB drive. I don't know if she used all the evidence or she's only used most of it. I said she could keep the actual drive for whatever purposes she wanted. I do not want to get Bruce Morris charged with domestic terrorism. What I do want is him to be studied analytically. I want the drinking to stop because Mary Faye Barney used to live across the street, and she had to get a protective order on him a year previous to him doing it to me, and he created a big commotion so he could get a protective order a year later because Mary Faye got one on him because he went over there and terrorized her. So this is not new to
Right.
Bruce Morris. He's done this before. I am concerned that he would do it again. Just because I leave the neighborhood doesn't mean he's going to stop doing this to
Right.
people. He said in courtroom 111 that he had childhood trauma. However, all sociopathy is stemmed in childhood trauma. The difference is whenever people purposely degenerate their neural pathways, or they can help it. Whenever I was 12, I actually went to Pathways Halfway House in Lawton, Oklahoma.
I'm from Altus, Oklahoma.
Oh, good. And I don't know how we'd ever get a system like that. Whenever I was a kid, it was perfect, you know.
Yeah, because you can't make an adult do anything unless the judge makes them.
Yeah, you know, whenever I was a kid, it was perfect because my mom got me straight there, and we developed a system
Right.
as early as possible. But at this angle,
Over here, Ian.
at this
So-
angle, I don't know.
This is Sergeant Buchanan and Detective Russell.
Hi,
I
Russ.
left you several messages.
I'm sorry. My is
We have not received them.
Remember
Remember
Sorry.
just to stay calm and answer
Yeah,
the questions.
thank you.
In reference to returning that to you. I downloaded all of it.
Okay, thank you.
Needed to return it to you.
Okay, thank you.
What's going on today?
I would like to work. I would like to have freedom. I can't have freedom. I have this. So the concept of having the EPO that Bruce filed against me, considering that the EPO was a lie, and that constitutes perjury. I can't think clearly with the perjury. And the whole case, I think, is actually domestic terrorism. The 25th. Julie Doss, I think, got moved, which should be a better displacement system.
Okay, so they changed judges.
Yeah, so it should be a lot better with Julie Doss. These
So you
concepts.
realize
Okay.
the perjury and all that stuff, that's gonna be relevant to the PO hearing. That's gonna be your chance.
Well,
That's what, and
I'm
then,
attempting to do is lock us up in litigation for analytical study.
well, we went to the courthouse, Tulsa County Courthouse yesterday and asked about the
They said I
him
have
lying in court, and they said that we had to file it here,
Well, when is he
right?
well, the whole
September-
EPO was a lie.
September 3rd.
So the EPO to file it, he had to lie. He had to lie for that.
But then September 3rd was your court date. September 3rd.
I actually wasn't able to talk to them.
September 3rd.
Right.
Yeah, they set me up.
They'll pass it over until there's a hearing date.
Yeah, I know,
There's supposed
but-
to be a hearing date now?
September 3rd.
Yeah, but
September 3rd.
it's still perjury, and it still doesn't.
It was September
It
3rd.
still doesn't
There
change
was
the
one
fact
hearing.
that he's been terrorizing me with this protective
That
order.
is true.
Because now this is a tool for
We don't have
terrorism.
jurisdiction over terrorism, that's the FBI.
Okay.
Okay, but how can we lock this up in litigation so we can study ourselves? Did you know you're an 8-bit processor? You're a computer. 8 bits. Scientifically. Opposition, criticism.
How long has it been since you slept?
I've had about 9 hours of sleep.
He's not on drugs.
And I'm not on drugs.
It's a
Well,
passion.
I'm not interested in any of this.
No.
this
Science.
talk.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in any of that.
Science.
What can we do for you today?
Yeah.
I would like justice, however that may be served.
So your first step is a protective order.
Okay.
Go to the protective order hearing, take counsel if you wish.
Yeah.
It's your chance to dispute this.
We already did that.
We already did that, and it was
That was
silent.
September 3rd.
You haven't had the hearing.
Actually, I have.
Yes. And they agreed it.
And I got silenced, and they had to switch judges. It was very horrible.
So when you go to this other judge, that's your chance.
Judge Julie Doss is she's a very well-adjusted woman.
So they have one on the 25th.
Okay.
But we wanted to note that he, I guess, had lied. When we went to the court, they said to come here, correct? That's why we're here.
They keep giving me the runaround, and all what I want. I don't want. I mean, I guess if everyone likes.
So you're just saying go to the judge and
What I would do is hire counsel and have someone who's not emotionally involved in this be your representative before the court.
Might
I
be
thought
easier.
about that because all of this really should be a free service with the DA. I really don't want to go the route of that one because that means in America.
it would be easier. But at
I
the
know,
same
but
time, he's like, it's
American
my neighbor, and I'm being
How
wrong.
can it be?
You know what
how
I mean?
can it be so easy for Bruce Morris to commit a crime and then me?
I
See,
understand.
now I need compensation and
Well,
damages,
I
and I don't
don't-
want to do that. I want us to learn as a system because we are a system here, and we have to learn these things analytically as humans because we are analytical processes.
And I think like he said, your best bet is gonna be to talk to Judge Doss about it.
Yeah.
And she is very fair.
She is.
And she will hear everything that you've got to say. But what he's saying about you hiring somebody, you're very emotionally invested in this. And so.
I
the
know,
reason
but
he suggested
if I
that-
hire someone, that means I have to spend money.
Yes, it does.
And
But
that
it's-
means I can't pay for something that's not my fault.
Well, that's why we created the civil suit. You can sue him for the cost.
It-
Yeah. Huh?
I'm sure the lawyer will handle that however he needs. I just want to wrap this up because does no one use logical flaws in reasoning? I'm very confused by that. I'm sorry. I study so much. It's a God-given curse. Don't blame God. God's different. Thank you, God. I just really would like to be able to do this right and as correct as possible.
The best way you're gonna do that is to take with you in the trial.
path to do that would actually, okay. That's your suggestion? And your name? Sergeant Buchanan suggests that we file lawsuits in order to do this.
No, I'm saying you need an advocate.
Logically, I can only pay for this by filing lawsuits.
No, I'm saying you can recoup your costs by that.
I have to pay for it somehow. Logically.
They're not gonna work for free.
Logically, I have to sue someone for it. I don't want to do that route because it's dishonest.
Okay, but you can't show up in court acting the way you're acting now because people aren't gonna listen to you.
That's why we
very
got
true.
silenced the first time.
Well,
Why you need somebody who can advocate for you,
Who's not
for you,
emotionally
and
involved.
who's not be emotionally involved.
everyone is emotionally involved. We're emotional beings by nature.
Well,
But
A
some
third party.
people,
I understand that. And in this route, since I can't get something so easily filed, that means
well, that's what the judge is
I
saying
know.
here. So
I-
at that hearing day, when you explain to her
I did
why
not
it was
create
wrong.
this American government
No,
system.
you're
I would
saying
like
the
to
judge-
fix it, but logically,
she's saying
logically and
the judge
rationally,
can hear this about the
rationally,
charges.
the paradox is just.
Yeah.
Rationally, I can only pay for this by suing. It is the
But you're going
paradox
to
of the
court.
system. I didn't create the
Yeah, I
system.
know, but you're going to court.
I'm
already.
trying to fix it.
I know. But you're
I
going
have-
to court. And she's saying on the 25th, the judge will hear the
I
judge,
have to,
right?
but
To
before,
hear how it was dishonest.
Yeah.
but before I talk to Judge Julie Doss, I have to help her another way, right? We still have the limbic system of David Hare.
Okay, so how would you like them to help you?
They can't study the limbic system in 5 days.
Okay, so there's nothing we can do here.
No, for this litigation, we have to sue. It's the only way that they made the system.
Thank you.
I did not make this. They made it. Yes.